Welcome to the Commute.
I'm Shannon.
I'm Andrew.
And we got to remember at the end this time to say the follow
Yeah,
us stuff. We keep
yeah,
getting in trouble for that.
yeah.
Um, okay, so today we were going to talk about having a coach or a mentor,
Mhm.
and probably not just in real estate, but in any business that you have. Just talk about the pros and maybe some cons. Just talk through that
Yeah.
whole process. So, do you have any questions about it, or what are you thinking?
Um, my first question, I guess, would be what was the growth you saw once you decided to hire a coach for your business? Like, did
Right.
you see, was it instant growth? Was it gradual? Or like, what was that?
So I actually signed up for Tom Ferry coaching, and I signed up through something that they were promoting called 10X. It was called 10X Your Business in a Year. And I fell for it.
Green card down.
Yes, it is a grant card ending. So I fell for it. And I am so glad I did,
Mm-hmm.
because in that first year, it actually took me 10 months. I 10X my business. And when people hear 10X, you don't necessarily know what that means, right?
Yeah.
Because some people might think, oh, I'm going to 10 times my sales, like the units. It could be if you're in like a marketing company, your subscribers, your business. So when you hear 10X, that is a very holistic approach. So that
Mm-hmm.
means they're looking at your finances, they're looking at your expenses, your sales, what your in real estate, what your caps and your splits are. So they're really diving in, analyzing everything, what you need to cut, what you should add. Some people spend too little, so they're
Mm-hmm.
not spending enough money to generate the goals that they need to hit. So for me, it literally took less than a year to get my business on a track, because I would say before that I was just like, this looks good, let's do
Yeah.
that, let's try this. It took a good 5 years to solidify everything that I was learning,
Mm-hmm.
and get things implemented and get things in place. But even today, I'm still coached. Like I will be coached forever. And the more you're in successful businesses with people that are not making even millions but billions, like
Mm-hmm.
you strive to be better. So the way to get there is to have someone outside of your business looking at your business, and not a friend, right? Because a friend will
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, you're doing great."
Right.
No, I need someone that is way above me financially in a business sense to push me and cause me to question
Mm-hmm.
everything I do
Right.
and not agree with everything I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like a overall, like,
Why do it?
you need to do it. It's
Yeah.
dumb. People that aren't doing it, dumb, 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 dumb. Because, like, if you're on a team, like I have a bunch of team agents, of course, under me, they don't necessarily need to be coached because they have
What
me
about
as
you?
a coach and
Yeah.
sales managers and things like that. But you do get to a level where you're like, life in general,
Yeah.
you probably want to experience a coach. We have a person on our team right now, and he came to me and he's like, "Hey, I think I want to hire a coach. What would you recommend?" And so we're talking through that and the best way to handle it and the best way to do it. And it might be that that's not me, right? Because I'm too much in his business already.
Mm-hmm.
So he probably does need someone outside, kind of like diving in to help him be better, not only as an agent, but as an entrepreneur, as a business owner in general.
Yeah.
So, um, and I
So
can't think of some reason not to do it.
cost, right?
Cost.
Cost.
Um,
If you're at a point where you have a successful business, but your money are always tight, right, and stuff like that, and
then
you
you
can't
need a
find.
coach.
Well, yeah, no, for
You need
sure,
it even
because
more.
but those people that are they think they're running a good business, but they're still like not living paycheck to paycheck, but it's not like they have like a ton to just expend, and they're
Right.
just like, well, it's not worth the money.
So I own a coaching company as well, and I have a 3 month coaching program, and it's not intended to be just 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
but you'll be amazed at how many people I get that want to be coached, and they just want to do that 3 months.
Yeah.
Well, that 3 months, that is like literally nothing. It can give you pointers and it can get you in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
It will not change your business.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because you need that consistent. My coach still to this day, we meet every Wednesday and he still yells at me. Like he still gets on to me like, have you thought of this? Why aren't you trying this? Why'd you do it like that, Shannon? And sometimes it's not even that I'm doing it wrong. He wants me to understand why I'm doing what I'm
Yeah.
doing. So it's not always
And making sure you're thinking through everything before you're
right.
just doing it, which is kind
Yeah.
of like kind of like your little Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah. It's annoying sometimes.
Yeah.
But I will never not have a coach.
Yeah.
It's to me it you
It
can
helps keep
do
you pointed.
yeah, and you can do masterminds.
Yeah.
You can do group accountability. There is something completely different when you are paying someone to be in your business.
Yeah.
Most of us don't do well without a boss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like even entrepreneurs, we need people to say you need to do this. Why are you not doing this? I'm in a mastermind with a guy locally. He's worth over like 70 something $1 million. He's really good businessman. He is coached. He's actually coached by Grant Cardone,
Oh, really?
which is very expensive. For those of you that have that, go you. We should get them on the podcast. So it's I don't think you'll find an entrepreneur that's successful that is not being coached
Mm-hmm.
because once you think you've got it figured out, you're gonna fail. You're
Yeah.
wrong. You don't.
Well, and even if it's not someone they're paying for, if it's someone like that is above them, but they're just helping them out because they had someone that helped them out and coached them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like someone always has someone that they're like not accountable to, but is kind of holding them accountable. Hey, why are you doing it like this? Or that they go to for advice, information, direction.
Yeah.
So I think that is
I
something
think
that
that's
he does help with a lot.
yeah, but I think like some people will use that as a cop out. Oh, I have a friend that holds me accountable, or I'm in this accountability group, and there's a place for that too.
Yeah.
It is different than having a coach like that you are paying for. It's I don't know why I can't. Maybe I just don't explain it well, but without that, it's literally even if those people will kind of call you to the carpet and like make you think through things, there's still a different motive behind that because you're in a different type of relationship.
Yeah.
Right. Like I would say at this point, Andy and I, yeah, we're friends, but Andy's not someone, well, one, he lives in California, but he's not someone that I'm like, hey, let's go hang out.
Yeah.
Like he is my coach.
It's a business relationship only.
Yeah. There's not this other element in that. He is my coach.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, he is my coach. So for me, you need that separation. And I need him to be able to be in my business and be like, you're being stupid.
Yeah.
Right? Or here's my thoughts on this. Mm-hmm. And of course, like I've told Noah before, Andy might tell us to do something. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it. I hope Andy listens to this. But for the most part, I take like, what is it? I heed his advice, right? And it makes me stop. It makes me process and then go from there. I think there's plenty of successful businesses that don't have coaches, which is sad because they could probably quadruple their business by having a coach.
Or 10x it.
Or 10x it. And that's massive. I need to 10x my life right now. Yeah. So what else?
No, I think it's good. I think like other than like personally, I also think he does help you just like with like I don't think it is just business. Like it isn't just a business relationship, but I think it also is helpful. Like you can apply some of the stuff he says to your personal life as well, mm-hmm. and kind of help you in that way too. So like it's not because like you talk sometimes about like he'll remind you of scripture or you'll pray or stuff like mm-hmm. that.
Oh yeah.
Where it's just like I don't know. It's a good way to keep you grounded in all aspects of your life.
Yeah, that is true. He does do that. And if I'm having complete meltdowns, like I hate everything, I'm giving up, I quit, he'll say, okay, like, and we won't do like the business stuff. He'll say, let's pray, let's think through this, let's find the root cause of why you're emotional, why you're feeling this way.
Yeah.
He really tries to drive me away from how I feel about things because I'll get on calls and I'll be like, I feel like my numbers are, and he's like, why are we feeling our numbers? Like, why are we not like knowing our numbers? So I think that's one of those things that he's really good at, like making me think mm-hmm. and not just feel. And I don't think I'm the only one with these problems.
No, I don't definitely not. I'm sure he has, or a lot of coaches have many clients that they talk to them till they're blue in the face and they just don't listen.
Right.
Too. You know what I mean? Like, think about your agents, right?
Mm.
Same thing. Like, I think there's definitely going to be some people that aren't receptive to information. I think that's probably the biggest misconception with you that other people have is that you're very stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
And you're really not stubborn. You just need to come to you with the right information and present it in the right way.
Yep.
And you're very receptive to it.
Yep.
Almost too quick to change.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in
like
all
I
reality.
just changed.
Yeah.
This week. We made a big change.
Yeah.
From one conversation.
It's true. But it's, I mean, like, but it's like, that right, that wasn't just one conversation. That was something that you've been feeling for a while, and just
we just finally put
did it
stuff around it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very quick to make a change.
Yeah.
Like
almost too quick, but I'm not saying that in general, but I'm saying like, and because people think Shannon, okay, bulldog, stubborn, mean, will yell at you, right? So when most people like that think like that, they're going to be like, okay, well, I'm scared of her, so I have this. She wants it this way, but I think it should be done this way. So I'm not going to go to her. I'm just going to do what she wants. No, she wants you to go to her because you're like, she might be like, oh, I never thought about it like that. You're right. We should do it like that.
Yep.
Like, and it's that easy.
Literally.
But people don't get that for some reason. That's really weird to me.
And I don't know why. Especially like on a staff level, like I hire people to do what I suck at, right?
Yeah.
So like I can only teach you what I've done, what I know. It is your job to find better ways to do stuff.
Yeah.
And in some cases, if you bring it to me and we talk through it, we'll find even a better way.
Right.
Because you might mention something, I'll be like, oh, I don't know. What about like, and then when you talk through stuff, amazing things happen. Mm-hmm. So yeah. So for agents, I know like coaching, I said for overall, like anyone and everyone should have a coach in business. So much so that even like if you, I'm looking at a dental office right now, so let's use that. Like if you own a dental office and you have employees that are even front desk people or accountants or whatever, having them in a coaching type environment can better your entire business.
Yeah.
So even having the people that work for you in coaching is an asset. And I think as leaders, we don't see how, we know how much coaching, most of us know how much coaching benefits us. We don't think about it on the level of how would this benefit like my assistants or my secretary, or whatever you call your people below you, right? That work for you. So coaching is a good thing.
Yeah.
Now there are bad coaches.
Yeah, there are. We've had one in our office that was not a great coach.
Yes.
If your coach doesn't listen, then it's not a good coach, right? Like, yes, they're there to kind of guide you, but they need to actually listen to what you're saying. Like, and I think that's probably Andy's best quality. He'll just sit there and he'll listen to you.
Yep, and then ask questions.
Just ask why. Like, why do you think that is? And he's not even saying that you're wrong,
right?
Like you're saying. He just wants to know that you have actual like conviction, knowledge, and information to back up why you're saying that.
Exactly.
And not just speaking out of your.
Right. Well, and I think you have different types of coaches too. So like when I started with Tom Ferry, I was with Jason Pantana. Shout out to him because I love Jason. His coaching style and abilities were heavy on marketing, branding, style, technique. Andy's is much more business. So basically Jason broke up with me and said that I needed to go to a different coach. And so when he did that, he was like, you get to interview some. Here's a couple that I'd recommend. So I interviewed like 3 coaches, and Andy was like, I felt like the best fit. I learn best and listen best to an assertive but kind person. So Andy is that for me. When we had a coach inside, they were more a mindset, like all cheerleader-ish coach, which that can be great for some people, but then it ends, right? That ends sooner than it needs to.
Yeah, it's a honeymoon period. Like,
right. Yeah. It's like an intro to coaching. when you're looking for a coach, just know you might change coaches, right? You might not stay with a coach for 5, 6, 7 years, but you do need to stay with a coach for at least a good solid year to see if that is the right fit. Now, I say that if it's someone that you're literally getting nowhere with and they stay at this level of mindset for 3, 4, 5 months, obviously you need to move because then they're not impacting your business.
Yep.
That's more of a personal counseling therapist type coach.
Yeah.
So anyways, I think overall coaching is good, but when we were talking about the negatives, you've got cost, and then you've got sometimes you might get a bad one.
Yeah. And then that is associated with cost. You know what I mean? So like then they're paying for something that they're not getting anything out of.
Right.
And that's where, and then they'll just have a bad taste in their mouth about it. Like, well,
it didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's so many great coaching companies out there. Tom Ferry is one. We have Priya Coaching. We also, I know of Buffini. I know people like Buffini. I know a lot of people that don't like Buffini. I've heard people don't like Tom Ferry. I think, just going with something where it's like getting your feet wet and just get started. And even if it's only twice a month, like mine's every week, but even if it's just twice a month to start getting that accountability and learning it.
Yeah.
This is a great place to drop that book too, Profit First.
Yeah.
Read the book Profit First, because once you can just shift your cost, you'll find the way to make coaching an asset that you are paying for, and it will be one of your primary line items. Like for me, that's one thing that it'll never go away. Like even though it was like, hey, well, we're cutting costs, what about this coaching? I'm like, nope, coaching is non-negotiable. Yeah. It stays no matter what.
Yeah.
So what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say.
Oh shoot, I don't know. I interrupted you.
You did.
Sorry.
It was something about the coaching and the having to fire.
Oh, fire your coach?
Yeah.
I haven't had to fire a coach.
Right, but
my coach fired me. He broke up with me.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Is I also think you probably need to know, or maybe you have to talk to a coach to find out, like what your expectations are out of it, right? Like before you get into it, you need to say, okay, this is what I need out of this, right? Like not just, okay, I want a coach. Well, what are you looking for? Why are you needing a coach? What are you wanting about a coach? Like, because you can't just say, okay, I need a coach. Okay, now what?
Right.
Like, what are you trying to get out of this relationship? Like, what's your expectations?
Right. I think a lot of people go into coaching thinking that coach is going to do their job.
Yeah.
And that is not the case.
Right.
Because when I had coaching clients, they were like, well, can you give me this? Can you show me that? No, that's not the point of coaching.
Right.
I can give you tools and I can give you samples. You then have to implement and brand them and change them and make them yours. Yeah. Like I can't do the work for you. The job is for us to make you think, lead you, direct you, not do the job.
Right.
So you need to have like, am I getting a coach because I want to make more money? Am I doing a coach because I want more time back in my life? Like what's the objective that you're going for? So I completely agree with that. And most of the bigger companies, they aren't going to shift for you. They have a plan. That plan is going to be worked and you have to kind of work in that plan. There'll be some tweaking, but not a ton. When you go with a smaller coaching company, they typically are going to more customize the coaching program to you.
Yeah.
And they're typically less expensive. So, like we're in the process of building out a coaching program that is much more group. So it is more cost efficient for people. And that one will be more laid out. You'll have to go through tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. It's not going to be like jump around kind of thing. So there's different types and you need to kind of decide what's best for you. My services right now, like for the weekly coaching, is $2,000 a month, and it's 30-minute sessions. And I met with a guy who's like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing great. Like my business is booming. I'm doing awesome." I'm like, "Oh, good. So how many sales are you having?" He's like, "Well, I got a buyer's agent. I've got an assistant, and got another agent. They're not really doing much, but I let them, work with me and stuff." And I was like, "Oh, okay, good. Well, okay. So how much are they doing? Like, let's get some numbers." He does like 2 transactions a month, and his buyer agent does 1. And I'm like, so you got some work to do. Like,
Yeah.
this is not, he's like, yeah, I mean, $2,000 a month, that's just too expensive. And I'm like, I can make you an additional $2,000 a month in 2 sessions.
Yeah.
Like, there's just things that can be tweaked in his business that will immediately add value. So sometimes you really got to think about that cost and how quickly you're going to make up that cost. Coaching, my coaching is $6,000 a month, and it easily pays for itself out of 1 coaching session a month.
Yeah.
And I get 6, right? Because 2 are for my staff, 4 are for me. So easily pays for itself. So I think people you got to get over the money at some point to make more money.
Yeah.
So
you got to spend money to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think especially like where you're at to get you to where you want to be, it definitely is you definitely can't get there as quickly as you want to get there by just like spitballing and hoping it works out. You know what I mean? Like you have to have some sort of coach, outside voice that's consulting you in making your decisions.
Yeah, I think I've been dealing with a few people right now, and one guy that I'm working with, he doesn't spend like hardly any money, and I was like, well, how much is your team bringing in? And he's like, $3,000 a month, and I'm like, maybe you should spend some money.
Yeah.
Right, because if you spend money, you'll make more money.
Right.
And you'll see gaps on where, okay, I could be making more, but they actually don't know how to convert, or whatever the case may be. So you could be making so much more by taking that $3,000 and reinvesting it.
Yeah.
So it's about being wise with the income that you do have, and then how to spend it to grow it.
Yeah.
But you can't also just spending isn't going to make more money. You got to spend it correctly. And I think that's what coaching does. It really helps you see the potential that could be there.
Well, and it emphasizes the tracking aspect of it, because if you're spending money and you're not tracking what those people are doing, you cannot correlate, okay, we spend and so we made this. But if you're just spending, then you'll never know.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like useless.
I guess maybe the last thing I'm thinking about on this coaching stuff is I never actually knew where I wanted to go. Like, I had no actual plan to open a brokerage even, right? Like, so when I started coaching, I had a small team. People kept coming to my team. I kept kind of saying, no, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, we're successful, but I don't know how to duplicate it. So some of it was my coach actually telling me I could do more, right? Like, Shannon, you're kind of settling. Yeah, you're not, you have more potential. Why are we stopping at 7, 8 agents? Why are we not growing this? What are you doing? What are your plans? So making me think of that. I think a lot of people say, oh, I'm going to start a team. And then they think they can start a team because they've had high sales. Having high sales doesn't mean that you should open a team, right? Or start a team.
Right.
Same thing, having a great team doesn't mean you should open a brokerage. There are things around what you do that you want to get better at to be able to run a team, open a brokerage, be a solo agent with an assistant, like whatever it is. So you need to find what your gifts are. And it's real easy for the people around you to say, oh, you're great at this, you're great at that. I know I suck at a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I know I suck at things that people have told me I'm good at. And I'm like, you are foolish. I know I'm not good at that. So having a coach helps you kind of figure out where your highest and best use is without judgment.
Yeah.
So coaching, must have it, need to have it. It's wise.
Smart.
Yep.
Agreed.
All right.
All
so
right.
That's the commute for the day.
That's the commute.
And what we're supposed to say.
Follow us, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Instagram at the Commute Pod.
We're on Apple
Instagram.
Pod.
We're on Apple Pod, Spotify, YouTube. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
That's
just wherever you find the Commute.
Comment, like and subscribe.
Yeah. Do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because it helps us. And maybe we'll get better and better mics.
Maybe.
If we get more subscribers, we can get better mics.
Maybe eventually we could pay someone to drive us around and commute instead of me driving.
Nah. That sounds foolish.
That sounds foolish.
Bye.